A cross-country runner passes through Barnstable Village. The Massachusetts Municipal Association begins a course right here at Town Hall. And Town Manager Tom Lynch talks about the continued discussion surrounding homelessness in our region. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, September 14th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. A California woman nears the completion of her goal to run the entire 3,652 miles of Route 6. April Gilbert began her journey this May in San Jose and passed through Barnstable Village today with less than 50 miles to go.
I thought that I was very good at running long distances, and I thought I could do it. And
you're almost there. That must be an amazing feeling that you're almost complete. It must be very emotional for you.
I am so emotional, like I've been crying all day. I can't believe that I'm here.
Cape Cod is very excited to have you here. What does it feel like to have a little bit of a welcome?
It's amazing. It's not helping the tears, okay?
Gilbert will be the first person ever to run the entire length of Route 6. She plans to reach Provincetown tomorrow and is using the cross-country run to raise money for low-income children in her San Jose community. There is never a dull moment here at Town Hall. Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Kovin talks with Town Manager Tom Lynch to get the latest.
An exciting day for some as the Mass Municipal Association brought its Suffolk University Partnership class back to Town Hall.
Back to Town Hall. We had one 2 years ago where there were about 28 students from public service employees from throughout the Cape. And it's a program where there are 5 courses offered over the course of the year. It'll end up in the spring. And it's meant to be a leadership program. I had, along with Paul Brockman from the Mass Municipal Association and Nicole Rivers, who's been associated with Suffolk for a long time, a chance to talk to them about the significance of the program and why it's important to town managers throughout the Cape. We want to be able to have our employees improve their skills, improve their management skills and leadership skills. There are also courses on financial management that are in there and strategic thinking. So try to have those this training and also form a network. I think one of the more important factors here is that a lot of the students will make connections that will last them throughout their public service career. And when they've got a problem, just as we as town managers will call up and say, gee, have you ever handled this? Do you have this sort of policy in place? Just as we do that, you do that at all levels through our town employee, various departments. So they were an eager group of students. I think, I told them they'd be challenged and that I hope that they would also challenge their professors so that there's a good give and take back and forth. A lot of them have not been in school for 10 or more years, and so that'll be a challenge, just fitting work and balancing the school needs. But overall, the results that we had from the last class were excellent for Barnstable. One of our individuals who was a successful graduate of the class, P.J. Kelleher, is now over at the solid waste transfer station as a supervisor. So he's already seeing benefits of having had that experience when it came time to compete for that job. So indeed. I think there's a lot of benefits to it, and we look forward to hosting it on Fridays over really the next 10 months. So.
Indeed, and challenge those students will be, absolutely. It's a great experience.
Having gone through that, is that challenge, you understand that?
Indeed, yeah. Indeed, yeah. And I think about the lessons that I learned through that all the time, so it's definitely a valuable process. So town council is meeting on Thursday, some big issues to be discussed.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be covering that through the week as you look at different, because there are going to be 3 different presentations, but I did want to, it kind of got lost a little bit, I wanted to underscore the significance of our police chief's role in terms of meeting with the Housing Assistance Corporation Board and really talking about the benefits of just one segment of our homeless population. That's those that use the NOAA shelter, and the advantages that he and I and others see of being able to remove that away from the downtown area so that we can still provide those needed services, but in a very concentrated way, in a way that perhaps has less impact on our largest economic engine here, in Barnstable with our, vibrant downtown Main Street. So I applaud him for the work that he's done, on that. And I think that when you look at the variety of presentations that are going to be made on Thursday, I think we're trying to get a whole picture of what some of the problems are and what some of the solutions can be. So.
Absolutely. So certainly a conversation that will continue throughout the months to come. So
speaking of conversations that are continuing, we start the budget conversation very early on, and this year, I started it in July and August by right after the finishing, the FY16 budget to looking forward to FY17, and we have this week I'll be wrapping up with our budget team discussions with 3 of our departments, Community Services, the Barnstable Police Department, and Administrative Services. And the purpose of these meetings has been to have our department heads and staff that they want to bring in talking about what they're looking for, how they put together their last budget and made some of their priority choices, what they're looking for next year, and not in an ironclad, here are the 6 things we're looking for. Have us have a discussion around that. And we know each year that we have to look very carefully at our budget and at the priorities we're going to be setting. So we want to be also talking to them about, if someone's saying, well, I'm really looking for a position in such and such an area, we may have to say early on that, we may actually be asking for reduction. So you've got to be looking both ways and tell us about the significance of what you're looking for, and get a conversation early on going on that. Also, last year we learned that there were a couple of programs that we either reduced or eliminated, and they came into the discussion very late in our budget talks. So we want to get those things on the table right now, because if we are going to reduce a service or shift it over to another area or even eliminate it, there are a lot of people that it may have been that may impact, and we want to be sure that there's a lot of lead time if we're doing that, and that all of our departments are very cognizant of what steps they may need to take. We ask them each year just to go back and review what they're doing, and we're trying to also say, look, we want to see 3 best practices, best performance measures, if you will, that they can implement, and so that we know that the types of programs they're proposing or the ones they're doing, they have good data on and can back up as to why that's an important service and why we're getting paying the right dollar amount for that. So we can give, we've enjoyed really a solid financial picture for quite a few years, and you could ask Mark, our finance director, Mark Milne, he's talking during our senior manager meeting that the revenues outside of new growth revenues, we're still not seeing those kinds of dollars coming in, but in other areas, meals taxes, rooms taxes, they've been very strong, and we had a pretty good year that way. So you always want to build on that financial base, make sure you're solid, and so that you can plan years ahead.
There are a few meetings here at Town Hall tonight. The Planning Board meets at 7 in the Town Hall hearing room. The Comprehensive Financial Advisory Committee meets tonight at 7 in the Growth Management Conference Room. And the Sandy Neck Board will meet at 7:30 in the Selectmen's Conference Room. We'll be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald. We share our coverage of 2 local 9/11 memorial services, and we have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.